welcome into the Rob and Kale Show. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us this evening. My co-host is in the upstate. He is Mr. Carolina Jackpot, Kale Hall. Kale, what's up, buddy?
Not much. Just been here patiently waiting.
Yeah. What are you typing over there?
Patiently waiting. Been writing a lot. I was writing a book. It took so long to get online tonight. I had to find something to do.
Yeah. You could have played with your pecker.
I could. I already did that though, so I was bored of it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, anyway, welcome into the program. What up? We got lots of stuff to talk about. Let's see here. Clemson's basketball team won tonight at Boston College. They moved to 15-2 in conference play. They wrap up the conference.
Struggled with the number 200 ranked net team in the country tonight. They didn't score a point in the last 5 minutes and something of the game.
Yeah, Boston College didn't. That's called defense.
Not well. It's called poor shooting. We can always go that route. That was poor shooting.
Go that route.
The last 5 minutes of the game there, they went ice cold. But congratulations. What a dead crowd too. You had, I think, two players that played for Boston College.
Yep.
One including that great value brand Fred Sanford lookalike, that Zachary dude with the fucking hairline that starts back here. And you'd think somebody that would had played there before would be getting booed mercifully when they're shooting foul shots. That there's like, you can hear a pin drop, and then I looked and I saw the stands when they showed it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that explains it. There's like 40 people there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the big end of it. I mean, they were already eliminated from conference tournament play.
If you
or so.
That's just crazy that a city the size of Boston, you can't get any more than 40 people to come to a basketball game. I don't care if they aren't any good. Jesus.
Okay, well, I mean, it's the Boston's a pro sports town. I mean, they don't care. I know that sounds silly, but they don't really care, So, I mean, I wish it were different, but what is it? Who was the guy that AJ? I can't remember his last name, but he works for Locked On Boston College, and he's told me, he's like, if you go to a Boston College football game, right? And he's like, even when they're like really good, when they've had like their the Matt Ryan years, because you go to a Boston College football game, and he goes, it's like you'll have maybe 10,000 students there, maybe, but then you'll see more Tom Brady jerseys and Patriots T-shirts than people running around with the old BC Eagle logo on. They just don't care up there.
That's weird.
Yeah. So
something's going on here with something.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I watched the game, and Clemson it looked like they cared, but they didn't for a little bit. They were locked in the first half, and they just didn't have it in the second half.
Well, I placed 3 bets on that game, and I got fucked on all of them. I picked Ian Scheffler to score over 20 points. He didn't. That was $25 lost. I had Chase Hunter scoring 19 points or more. He didn't. The fucker scored 18. And then I had $25 on Boston College to win, which would have netted me like $180. And then, of course, they fucked around and didn't do it. So, not a good night there. But it doesn't matter. I out all this money I've got on this fucking Bet US thing because the motherfuckers won't give me my damn money. They want to give it to me in crypto, or they want to send me a fucking check and make me pay a $45 fee. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not going to pay a $45 fee to get my damn money.
No. Let's thank the Walk It Off Sports for the super chat. It says, Mike here, first super chat from new channel. I'll be getting with you, Jackpot, in the coming months to have you on the channel. Okay. I guess.
All right, sir. That's not a problem. Good. I'm supposed to be at some point either during the Slob cruise or after the Slob cruise. I'm going to be getting on a show with Rec Talk, and we're going to be discussing the most annoying fan bases in the country. So this should be good stuff.
Don't start and end with South Carolina. It's not really. I mean, you're over there lying. So
they'll definitely be in the mix.
Yeah. There were Gamecock fans that were upset about what Justin Falsinelli said yesterday at Congress. They were pissed off about that.
Who?
Because, Falsinelli, the guy who used to be a center for Clemson, he's now the president of the college players, something or another, and they had him at Congress. Shane Beamer was there too. And Falsinelli said something to the effect of he talked a little bit about his career and said, hey, I won 2 national titles and, I was an all academic, player and all that. And he goes, and he was sitting there and he looked over at Shane Beamer and said, I never lost to South Carolina, just to kind of blah, blah, blah. And those cocksucking fans, the first thing out of their mouth was, those motherfuckers from the upstate. Motherfucking, I'm fucking classless motherfuckers. So I posted a nice little shot of, this is you dumb fucks with your belts beating the fucking ground. Die of cancer. And I meant that. I posted that on their fucking shit because that's how fucking stupid that they are. So, yeah, that's what I've been dealing with today is dum-dums like that.
That's a little bit over the top, isn't it? Die of cancer?
Yeah, exactly. I hope they do. That fucking stupid. Fuck them. You've said worse, Jackpot.
No, I have not. I really haven't. I haven't. I've motherfucked people from here to Kingdom Come. I don't think I've ever wished death on anybody like that.
You told a guy to die of AIDS. I've got it on tape somewhere. I hope you fucking die of AIDS.
Okay, well, then I guess I did.
It was all
sounds like you. Well, you told a whole group of people to die, so that's worse. That's genocide.
It's not genocide. I didn't like give them the cancer fucking shot or whatever. I just
Vic says the Rec Talk will tell you that Georgia's the most annoying fan base. They might be. Might be.
Peckerhead has a super chat. Keep the chain going. 17-14, Rob. Shane Beamer is CEO of Memorial Stadium. Hope you remember our sellers on 3rd and goal every morning you wake up. Brother, it was a game that nobody cared about when we went to the playoffs. I hope you got your Christmas ornament. Thank you for the
but you had people in the stands crying over it when it was over. So,
yeah.
How can you say that no one cared about it?
Yeah, and by the way, I'm joking.
That's inherently wrong. Maybe you didn't care about it, but some of the fan base did.
Most people didn't. Most people didn't.
Sure.
So I didn't get a Christmas ornament.
A Christmas ornament?
Yeah, they made Christmas ornaments for that shit. We beat them up there. We get a Christmas ornament.
Well, that would be 2 Christmas ornaments in a row.
No, it's you get one. You got one year, and then
you said we beat them up there. That's 2 Christmas ornaments in a row from beating them. Hashtag up there, up here. Cool.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it, and you hate this line, but it is your Super Bowl. So
no, it's not. The people losers use the term Super Bowl.
No. It is your Super Bowl.
No.
But the time you got there, you weren't playing for anything. That's the way that it is every year. It is your Super Bowl. It is the biggest game on your schedule.
South Carolina could have still potentially made the playoffs.
But did you?
Yeah, no. We didn't. But you just said we didn't have anything to play for.
And you didn't go to the playoffs.
That's inherently false.
No, you got the win, and it was your win over the highest opponent of the season as the season ended. Biggest game on your schedule, not up for debate, and you win, and you didn't go to the playoffs.
Yeah, well, we won.
That game doesn't help you. It's just a Super Bowl where you guys get Christmas ornaments.
Yeah, but if we had lost it and then Miami had did what they were supposed to do and won, and won the conference, then we wouldn't have made it either.
Well, here's the thing. If you lost, it's just another football season. This happens all the time. Just regular football season.
67% of the time over the past 3 years is not all the time.
Okay. Well, 70% of the time you lose that game.
No, that's not right either.
Yeah, well, you lose the majority of the time. In the modern era, you've just not you're not compatible.
Yeah.
So anyway, Jackpot, you're heading down. You got to drive tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I've got to leave out of here tomorrow. Hopefully get on the road by like 3 o'clock. So I got to go 4.5 hours tomorrow.
So you're leaving at 3 o'clock tomorrow, and you're going to be in New Brunswick, right?
No, just plain Brunswick, not old or new. Not Brunswick stew either. Brunswick, Georgia. I got to find something to do there. There's a Winn-Dixie there. So, I might take a tour of that. And then I don't know what else. Probably see if I can find somebody buying crack on the sidewalk, maybe.
Is that happening in Brunswick?
I'm sure it probably is. It looks like kind of a shitty place, but it's okay. Only there for a night.
Eddie's wrong. Backdoored your way into the playoffs. No, we won our fucking conference. Have you won your conference?
No, yeah, you won your conference because you got to compete.
We won our fucking conference.
You got to compete. You got to compete because
into anything that is
you got to compete because Mario Big Chest shit the bed again.
That's not my fault. That's not our fault.
Nobody said it was your fault, not anybody's fault.
In fucking September, it wouldn't have mattered. Their record's still the fucking same, and we won. When you say backdoor, that means you're a fucking loser.
Who would have gone to the ACC championship game to play SMU if Miami had won? Miami.
No one gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck. No one cares.
You didn't control your own destiny. They
earned our spot and we won. So fuck you. Here's the thought.
No, they fucked up their damn destiny.
What that is Gamecock stupidity. That is exactly what that is.
It's not Gamecock stupidity. It's fact.
We will never make the playoffs. We'll never make the playoffs. So let's just mock Clemson when they make the playoffs. We'll get a win every now and then. We'll make fucking Christmas.
We came within a cunt hair of making it last year. What are you talking about?
You didn't make it, though, did you? You didn't make it, though, did you?
No, we didn't. I said we came within a cunt hair of making it. You Nimrod. You're sitting here saying you're singing, and your singing is fucking horrible, by the way. We'll never make it.
Did you make the playoffs? No one gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck. No one cares. You lost to the Children of the Corn.
I want to know what radio station I can tune into and hear at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Rob Sanders hit single. No one gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck. Is that in the jukebox at the club?
It should be at the jukebox at Waffle House. You can find that in Brunswick on your way down.
Yeah, that's right.
Chris Snippy says it's backdoor in a shitty conference. Guess what? You can think that, but in reality, the playoff committee says, fuck you, you motherfucking idiot. Your fucking team doesn't get to play. Go fuck yourself. Okay? So you can have that fucking ideology all you want, but it's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. We don't get to go, so fucking Clips should get to go because we won. Fuck off. I can't wait to see you guys go 6-6 this year. That's going to make me happier than a pig and slop. It's going to be the best fucking thing ever. You mouthy motherfuckers. It's going to be great because y'all aren't shit. Your coach is a piece of shit. You've got fucking guys down there that aren't doing what the fuck they're supposed to be doing. It's coming out. It'll come out.
Guys that aren't doing what they're supposed to. Okay.
Yep.
Based on what?
Check their Instagrams, Jackpot. I'm sure your son follows them. He knows.
Okay.
So, what else do you want to talk about today? Do you want to talk about, we can't talk about the South Carolina basketball team. You made me promise not to talk about that. Do you want to talk about Auburn losing last night? We could talk about that. I didn't see that coming. Did you?
They lost last night?
Yeah, they lost to Texas A&M last night.
Well, I mean, Texas A&M's pretty decent.
Yeah, they're 11-7 in conference play.
They were number one, right?
Yeah, they are number one, and they lost.
Yeah, number one's going to stumble every once in a while, kind of like Duke did.
Super chat. He says you won't bet, but because he can't spell bet, that under 6.5 LMA off no conviction.
That's 100%.
It's 5.5 is what I saw, and I said you would go 6. So here, let me help you, Gamecock fans. 5.5 over here. I said 6. Okay.
Oh yeah, that was on the Walmart brand sports book that you were.
I'm just telling you. I didn't tweet that out. That was from Brad Crawford from 247 Sports.
FanDuel, who is a viable site, has 7.5 on there. So,
just saying, if you want to go with the FanDuel numbers, we can go with the daily Gamecock numbers and have you at 11 if you want to do that. The site that Brad Crawford tweeted out said you were at 5 and 5.5. I'm not going to bet it at 5.5 because I think that you will get 6 wins. So 6 is more than 5.5. Is that very hard? 5.5, I got to say it 3 times. 5.5 is less than 6. 5.5 is less than 6. 5.5 is less than 6. That's why I didn't bet it. Maybe you'll understand that now.
Who are you talking to? I understand that.
Peckerhead said you won't butt the under 6.5. There is no 6.5 out there. There's no 6.5 for me to bet. Otherwise, I would. There's no 6.5. It's 5.5. Your program's a piece of shit. That's why they had you at 5.5. What do you want?
And plays one of the toughest teams in the schedule.
Jesus Christ. Toughest team in the schedule. Your schedule's tough because you play us. That's what the big deal is. That's exactly what the big deal is.
LSU, Alabama, and Ole Miss have nothing to do with that.
In your words, Ole Miss is fucking shit. You think Lane Kiffin's a dickhead. You think Juice Wells is a piece of shit, even though he drug his nuts so fucking hard on you motherfuckers. He has his taint is chapped from rubbing his nuts on your program. But yeah, they suck. Right? They suck. There's nowhere to bet under 6.5. It's 5.5. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure I saw 6.5 somewhere.
Well, find me a 6.5 and I'll bet it. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
So there you go. Anyway, we're getting back to Auburn. Auburn lost, which was weird.
Well, all these teams that are ranked number one, they normally always end up losing to somebody they shouldn't lose to. It's probably actually good for them. It gets them back focused, you know.
Well, what are your thoughts about do you think the Gamecocks have a chance to make a run in the tournament?
I mean, they might win a game, but they don't have the – I mean, they went last night. They, much like Boston College, they went for like 4 or 5 minutes last night without making a field goal. I mean, offensively, they're just not there. It's just not capable. So, I think they may win a game, maybe pull an upset. But as far as like pulling one of those Georgia 2007 deals where they come in like the last place seeded team and make it to the championship game, no, I'm not seeing that happen. You remember when that happened? It did.
Yeah. By the way, those who said Juice Wells didn't do anything against South Carolina, 3 receptions for 97 yards.
He didn't.
He did not have three. I'm just giving you the stats. 3 catches, 97 yards. Now, that is twice the amount than your top receiver had in the game.
66 of it was empty yards. He fumbled.
Doesn't matter. You're paid to get yards. He got 97 yards, and you lost by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, but he didn't contribute anything to that but a fumble.
He had 3 catches for 97 yards.
Did he set up any touchdowns?
Double what your top receiver had, but he didn't do anything.
He set up any touchdowns? Did he score any touchdowns?
He went in and got a 24-point win, laughed, gave his finger to everybody,
He didn't get the 24-point win. You could more count that to Fat Boy they had running the ball on fourth down.
27 minus 3 is 24 points. That's how much they won by.
Okay. 3 minus 0 is 3. That's how many we beat you by.
Cool.
Yeah,
It wasn't fucking 24.
1 minus 0 is 1. That's how many we beat you by last time.
Well, Juice Wells drug his nuts on you. That just happened. So
okay.
Is he coming back next year?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask you. Is he back or not? I tried to look it up, and there's nothing on him. I think nobody really gives a fuck.
Well, I mean, if he comes back, he'll go for fucking crazy numbers next year. Let's see here. He was a senior.
He didn't go for crazy numbers last year, and their wide receiver one was down most of the year.
Double the yards in your game than your best receiver had, but didn't go crazy.
Will you shut the fuck up?
Just being honest.
He didn't. I'm talking about over the course of a season.
Oh, okay.
Over the course of the season, their wide receiver one, Trey Harris, was hurt most of the year, and Juice didn't. I mean, he didn't do dick. What did he have, like 600, 700 yards? It's not that much when you got a
he was
wide like Jackson Dart.
Finished with, I think, right at 600 yards. Where's
Tiger Red Devil says he's gone.
Well, that sucks. He'd love to go drag nuts again. Let's see here. It doesn't tell me. It doesn't even tell you where he is now. Let's see. Wait a minute. He should have worked out in the NFL Combine.
Frothy Tavern said he was at the Combine, so yeah, he's gone.
Oh, and he's probably out. Oh,
yeah, good riddance.
He played in. Oh, here we go. There's his prospect profile. Let's see how he did in the Combine. I don't normally watch the Underwear Olympics, but let's see here. What the hell?
If he plays, if he's on the NFL roster, he's going to start lineup. How's he going to introduce himself on Monday Night Football?
Oh, he won't admit that he played at South Carolina. He's ashamed of that. He'll talk about, I went to Ole Miss or James Madison. He won't mention that he fucking was here.
No, he was only a first-team all-conference player at South Carolina, but yeah.
Yeah, and he left.
Wasn't the first teamer at fucking Ole Miss.
He would rather be the number 3 wide receiver at Ole Miss.
He admitted to mixed company that he made a mistake too.
Who told you that? The Daily Gamecock?
No, it was on a YouTube video. He got interviewed on some podcast. He said, I made the wrong decision there, bruh. I mean, but you can't go back and change shit,
I'd love to see that.
It's out there somewhere. If I ever find the link to it, I'll send it to you.
I'm sure. I believe you, Jackpot. You have no reason to lie about what this fucking idiot did. Ran a 4.5 40, and yeah, it looks like he had a pretty good combine. They had like a projection for him as like a 3rd round wide receiver. So
here you go. The King over in the comment section says, I think the channel's not growing with Rob's nasty words. There's no need for it all the time. He's just projecting. You the man, Jackpot. First of all, I am the man, King. Thank you. I appreciate it. Rob, you need to clamp your mouth, apparently.
Okay. Hot meat kettle, but okay.
Just saying.
Okay. Pot meat kettle. Front.
Huffer Billy says he needs to come on and ask Cruz questions. Can we let Huffer Billy on? He asked if he could get on through StreamYard, but we're on this platform.
Yeah, I'm in touch with. I'm working with StreamYard on trying to get our stuff back together.
But how does Huffer Billy get on to ask questions?
We'll send him send it right here. I'm gonna send the link now. I posted the link.
Okay.
Chris says, I'm hurting your feelings. I don't care about your feelings. Burn yourself with another crack pipe. I don't care about your feelings. How's that?
That's just fucking rude. I mean,
Jackpot, I wasn't cursing though. You did. Clean up your mouth, Jackpot.
Well, I mean, you brought out the worst in me.
I did. King with the $10 super chat. Thank you, King.
King, appreciate you.
Anyway,
we're raking it in tonight.
Yeah. Blake says telling a grown man to watch his mouth is crazy. Yeah. Okay. If I offended you, King, I apologize. I don't know you, King, but if I offended you, I apologize. Here's some folks coming in. Here's Hupper Billy, VicTube, and Schultz. Don't all talk at the same time. Schultz, hold on, make sure you put this up. Schultz, if you're gonna come on here and say Juice Wells didn't do anything, I'm gonna hang up on you.
Nope, it has nothing to do with that.
You're not hanging up on anybody.
I will fucking watch me. Well, I've got my fingers itching like I got the trigger finger right there.
If you hang up on somebody, I'm gonna come slap the shit out of you.
No, Rob. What I was gonna say. No, Rob. What I was gonna say was Clemson fans have no room to talk about Super Bowl bragging like you won the Super Bowl for the way you guys acted in 2023. Y'all acted like y'all won the Super Bowl after beating us, despite the fact that you played horrible. Yes,
hold
you
on,
did.
sir. Hold on, slow down. Did Clemson fans storm the field in that shithole you play in? Answer yes or no.
No, because you can't. No, because they don't allow you to do that there.
End of discussion. End of discussion. No Clemson fan was on the field, beating the field.
Because they let us storm the field. They let you storm the field at Clemson.
Well, because up at Clemson, fans are normal, and they come to the paw, and everybody shakes hands and blah blah blah.
They did go on the field.
If it was, we would have been fine. You would have been fined for it. So it did not happen.
They did go on the field and they planted that ugly ass flag.
Clemson football players did that. You got a problem with that? Win the fucking game, dude. If it were South Carolina players that did that,
well, I don't know. I got them confused with fans. It was some of those D.W. Daniel players that are on like the practice squad or something. So I thought they were fans. My bad.
No, they weren't fans. They were actual football.
I should have known they had a uniform.
Barrett Carter planted the flag. If you need to know who it was.
Okay. So now we've litigated that. Jackpot. What's the one thing you're looking forward to on this cruise?
The drinking.
Well, no, but okay, that's good. Are you gonna get in the pool?
Yes.
Okay. And
yes,
I have a question about that.
There's a bunch of pools. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Like the pool, like getting in that, like wouldn't that mess with you seeing the water running beside you and then you're in the pool too? That would bother me.
Would it? I don't know.
I think these ships are so dang big that you probably don't even hardly even know you're on it. You know what I'm saying? Or that you're on the ocean.
No, you don't know. But the other thing, what about the food? Looking forward to that?
Oh, absolutely. And see, the thing is, I'm reading something about these Carnival cruises, and it's talking about you have to dress up one night or wear your casual business casual stuff. I ain't bringing none of that. I'm bringing my shorts and my polo shirts.
The white party, yeah.
I'm so happy you guys are going.
What kind of racist shit is that? A white party?
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, it's like white. You're supposed to wear white. Yeah.
Oh, I was about to say, Jackpot can't go to a white party. He's got soul in him, like the Dusty Rhodes. He ain't going to no white party.
I'm not dressing up for no dinner. I'll take mine back to my room and eat it. I'm not doing that. And it's not like I'm belligerent or something. I'm just like, I don't see the need for it.
I'll be with you. I'm with you. What they say, I'm with her. I'm with you.
Cool. All right. Well,
but hey, Jackpot. The good news is y'all got swept. I mean, so you know, the brooms came out.
That's fine. We've been winning ever since. I think we won again tonight. So,
let me give you,
our coach said that it's not what you do in February and March. It's what you do in April and May that counts.
Well, and
he's an old guy, so he must have a lot of wisdom. I don't know. He said that's what he told us.
Well,
our coach is classy, unlike Clemson.
What the bullshit. He did win a national title, but he also doesn't realize that what you do in May, it's probably what you do in June. that's when it actually really matters. So maybe he's just old and forgot that.
Yeah, Taters have problems in June.
Yep, they do. They do.
Listen, Jackpot, taters have problems in November and December.
Yeah,
We
they
lose
do.
to you guys. we can't beat the Coots. It's just a problem. We got what do you call it? When you have the problem with people or an affliction, we having a problem with the Coots. The Coots can beat us. They always do. So.
And what? What are you talking
You're
about?
going to have an intervention on that to figure out what's wrong and make some changes.
Every time we play at home, South Carolina wins. Makes me want to throw up, but that's true.
That's not true at all.
We have an allergy.
Well, the last 2 times it has.
What the hell are you talking about?
The last 2 times.
Clemson has more wins in the series at South Carolina than the Gamecocks have in the series overall.
I said at home, our home.
At home, we still win the majority of the
That's because we played. That's because the series was totally played in Columbia until like 1960.
Well,
that's when they finally decided
the
to
big
plant grass
Thursday
up there at that dump or something. I don't know. I mean, before that, it was like a trash pit, or hell, I don't know. There was no grass on
cow
it, so
pasture.
they did that and put some lines out with that. Hey, we'd like to have a home game too, and they're like, okay, well, I guess you upgraded enough.
It's not exactly.
We got a cow pasture. We threw lines. We said we'll play at home.
Well, but we own both of y'all, so.
Well, fuck you.
That's true.
Fair point, Vic.
That's true. So, did you know that South Carolina's played Georgia more times than Georgia and Tennessee have played? I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I knew that.
Pretty impressive. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I mean, because I was going at it with some Tennessee fan on Twitter, and he's like, look at our record against Georgia compared to yours. And I was like, okay, let me look at it. So I went over to the Winsipedia page, and I looked down, and I was like, man, they ain't played but like 40 times. I'm like, we played them like 70 times. I'm like, that's because we've played them like twice as much as you have. Yeah, you would have lost all those games.
Yeah, we've played Kentucky and Vandy more times than we've played Tennessee.
That's weird.
Hey, Carol. Hey, Jackpot. I want you to realize I was a Carolina fan until I was 12, and I'm not a hateful person on Carolina, by the way. But I was a Carolina fan until I was 12. We used to watch the basketball team down there when what's his name was there, the legendary guy. But he was so good.
Frank McGuire.
Yeah, Frank McGuire. We watched them every freaking time they played when it was on TV and even on radio. We listened to them. So I ain't a hateful person on South Carolina. I just feel like we just own you guys now. I mean, it's different now. Back then, y'all were the cat's meow, and somewhere along the way it flipped.
Yeah.
What the hell? Okay.
Who was the cat's meow?
South Carolina was early on.
When?
They were. That's true. I mean, South Carolina's won the ACC tournament more times than Clemson has.
No, that's bullshit. You know better than that.
What?
Well,
what?
You mean basketball tournament?
Oh, okay. So we switched sports now. Okay.
All right.
Well, the rivalry was.
He's talking.
Yes,
Vic. He's talking about Frank McGuire now. You got to keep up here.
Yeah, I got to keep.
What's that?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Wait, what?
Basketball. Listen, basketball.
Yeah, they were good. That's true. South Carolina won the ACC tournament in like 1970 1970. Clemson's never won it.
And then Paul Diesel had to wreck the whole thing.
South Carolina's also won the ACC in football. Miami's never won it either. So, hey. We're just taking all these things.
Paul Diesel wrecked South Carolina athletics. We should have never left the ACC, or at least when we did.
Well, you left because of stuff with North Carolina. There was
There's a good reason.
There was a lot of fuckery going on with the cheaters from North Carolina. So
There's
I
a
can
good
understand
reason.
why you left. Yeah, I can understand why you left, but you shouldn't have. But I get it. It's one of those things.
I understand.
It was that them and Duke got all the preferential treatment of everything.
They were this fucking conference is a piece of shit. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. South Carolina got out when the getting was good, and they were smart to do so. And I will say that every day. Maryland did too. So Clemson should have gotten out.
Well, no, I mean, we would have won the ACC in 84 and 87 probably if we had stayed in football. And we would have continued to do good in basketball too. So
I know. I don't disagree. I think you guys are good enough to do it. But anyway, like I say, I don't hate on South Carolina as much as I like to. I want to, but I can't hate on them. They're my home state, man. They're South Carolina. I came from there, so.
All right. Well,
if you were a Gamecock fan until you were 12, what made you switch?
Well, I'll be honest, Jackpot. I'm
asking Huffman.
Let me explain it to you. I was I played for the biddies, the little minor, when you the little leagues. I played for the biddies. We had Gamecock uniforms, we had Gamecock helmets, Gamecock shirts, and somewhere in, I think it was 11th or 10th grade, I was listening to Clemson play Notre Dame against Joe Montana on the radio. I was washing the car, and that flipped the whole switch on me because we were against Goliath, man. And from then on, I was a Clemson fan. I hate Notre Dame. Can't even tell you how much.
I mean, did they actually beat them, or
we got within a net?
Did they beat them, or?
But Montana came back, right? And we lost that game.
Right.
But we were in Notre Dame. We were there, and we should have beaten them. But that's okay.
Would that have been 1977 when Charlie Pell was the coach?
Yes. And then I hated Charlie
And that
Pell.
was in Death Valley, right?
Yeah, the reason why I hate Florida is because of Charlie Pell, that little son of a bitch.
Hey, Danny Ford came in after that and won y'all a national title.
I know.
Well, I mean, he came in there and fucked everything up, and then he left Danny holding the bag.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And that's why I can't stand Florida.
Hey, Danny, the fall guy. He didn't deserve all that.
No, he didn't. But I'll give you credit. South Carolina ain't the heart. They're not evil. I just have to hate on them because they're our rival.
Right, yeah, you're required by law. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, there are Clemson fans who expect us to pull for them just because we're from the same state. And I just think it's ridiculous.
I don't know. I think, listen, when we play Ohio State, you don't want Ohio State to win. You know that. Fuck Ohio State.
Well, we don't want Clemson to win. We don't want our in-state rival to win.
Well, you don't want Ohio State to win over us. You know that. Come on.
Vic, would you ever want Georgia Tech? Would you ever root for Georgia Tech ever?
No.
Thank you. I think that answers my question. I mean, that's how in-state rivals are supposed to be, with maybe a few exceptions to that.
Well, if you look, you okay. I've lived all over the country, and I can't tell you how much I don't like South Carolina for the reasons aforementioned. But I will tell you, if South Carolina's playing some other stupid ass team in another part of the country, especially in the north, okay? Especially in the north, I want them to beat the hell out of them. I always pull for them, and that's just the way it is. So I'm a South Carolina.
I pulled for Clemson a couple of years ago when y'all played Tennessee in the bowl game, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, fuck Tennessee.
Okay, that might be the one time I may pull for y'all is against Tennessee. That may be the one exception. That might be the one exception.
Wow.
Tennessee fans are the only fan base that drives me even more crazy than Clemson does.
Sure. Ohio State drives me nuts. And North Carolina State, too. Fuck North Carolina State.
All right, I've got to move on from you three, and I got to bring these other
All right,
three.
bye.
All right, I'll see y'all, man.
See you
Appreciate it.
later.
All right.
All
All right,
Vic.
gang. Bye.
Bye, buddy. And let's
Bye,
see
Vic.
here.
I'll see you tomorrow or
Yeah,
Friday.
Over Billy. Bye. Squidtard, welcome to the program. Tiger Red Devil, welcome to the program. And who's the other one? Oh, and Peckerhead. Welcome to the program.
Hey, I gotta say, Huffer Billy's way too nice. I'm from South Carolina. Fuck the Gamecock.
Well, that's because he has class and you don't.
Yeah.
South
You got to factor that in.
Carolina beating Clemson is like a Golden Corral buffet. South Carolina is like a Happy Meal with fucking tap water. They just don't. It's
I just want to throw this out there.
Nowadays, the damn Happy Meal costs about as much as the Golden Corral. So
old hamburger. The fries are soggy and they only fill your cup up half.
I just want to throw this out
So
there.
you're
You
saying
guys,
2 out of the last 3?
disrespected my super chat.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said a $5 super chat earlier, and you guys disrespected it by not even taking the time to read it.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it, sir. I will go and find it right now. Hold on.
I can read it for you if you want.
No, make Rob read it.
Okay.
Make Rob read
Okay.
it.
I can read it.
It is important.
I'll read it right now. I don't give a shit. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. I'm looking for it.
Hey, Jackpot, bring back the gold to South Carolina. You to win the Olympics.
Oh, well, that's
Bring
a
back the
guarantee.
what?
He's a Gamecock.
Bring back the gold, baby. I want you to win the Slob Olympics.
it's not it's not an individual thing. It's a
He's talking about
team
your
thing.
team. He's talking about your team.
I hope your team
okay.
wins the gold.
I've got a parlay on your team. Don't let me down.
Hey, and first and foremost, let's
I
get
don't
this
even know who's on the
established. I
team.
want everyone to go and look up
Hold on, I
fans.
gotta
Okay,
read
yeah.
Squidtard's super chat because it's stupid, but we'll read it anyway. If South Carolina was in the ACC, they would have had a first round bye last season. Hashtag clown of the week. I don't think so, but hey, you're entitled to your opinion. Thank you for the $5.
It's the
sir.
truth. It's the truth.
Well, it's the truth because I said so. You don't know that for sure.
They beat the ACC champion.
ACC champion.
They beat the ACC champion.
Thing.
Yeah,
There's
it
other
does.
teams that beat other teams in there.
How does that not mean anything?
All right, well, here you go. Let me give you this. Michigan beat Ohio State, but Ohio State didn't win the national title. Fuck them. They didn't win. That's
Those teams are in the same
Yeah, but
conference.
Michigan also won 6 games and we won 9.
how stupid that is.
Hey, Kale. This is actually important. Can I read something for you?
Yeah, sure.
All right, Kale, I want to read something for you because y'all were talking about something, and I just thought maybe, I'll Google it. All right? I'll Google it. Set it to bed.
Yeah.
The definition of backdooring into the playoffs refers to a scenario where a team makes it into the playoffs despite not being considered a strong contender for most of the season, often by capitalizing on late season upsets or other teams losing unexpectedly. Does that sound like that applies to the Clemson Tigers?
No,
2024
Yeah, it sounds like it absolutely might.
no.
like-
I guarantee if you put South Carolina in the ACC, you put South Carolina in the ACC, they're not losing more than one game.
Well, guess what? You're in the SEC and you're in the middle of the pack.
Garbage. Fuck off with all that. Your whole fucking team's
truth.
a shit show.
Hey, Tiger Red Devil, if you're on your phone, maybe
He's
I
not
would
a
move your
Tennessee,
phone
he's
a
not a
little bit.
South Carolina fan.
Hey, if you're on your phone, TRD, scoot it a little bit. It's like cutting your mic off so you can't hear you the best.
It sucks, man. It's horrible.
But we can hear you better now.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. But I think that definitely applies. And the only reason we're hearing all this Super Bowl talk, because, we mysteriously didn't hear any of it last year. The only reason we're hearing it now is because we dog walked Junior in stadium again.
Anybody.
As
It's
Shane
pretty
Beamer
tough.
does.
It's pretty tough to defend a conference that went 2-11 in bowl games.
No one defends conferences, dude.
Using the term Super Bowl is for losers. Now,
Well,
Spencer Rattler did it a couple years ago when we lost at Tennessee, and I didn't like it when he did it.
I remember that video.
He sounded like he was making excuses, and he sounded like a whiny baby. I didn't appreciate that. But, yeah, Super Bowls
fuck at 3
for
points.
losers.
Well, to quote
It's hyperbole, TRD.
I'm going to quote Sean Connery for you guys, okay, from the movie The Rock. Losers always whine about their best. We didn't quite make the playoffs. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
That's right.
Clemson did.
So did we fuck the prom queen at Memorial Stadium?
Yeah, but no one told you that the prom queen also happened to be their sister.
So that means we must have fucked every single one of y'all's girlfriends at Memorial Stadium, right? We just bent them over the bleachers.
Doesn't matter. We went to the playoffs.
Okay, but we fucked your girlfriends at Memorial Stadium, right?
Huffer Billy Paul, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, "Screw Tenny C."
Well,
hey, by the way,
you old fart.
The Samuel Adams dropped their new seasonal beer.
What is that? Hold on. I can't. Hold on. I'm not being a smartass. I want to see that. Like, what is that?
What?
Oh, my beer. It's the new Samuel Adams seasonal beer.
Breakaway Blonde. Jackpot, would you drink that?
It's good.
I absolutely would.
Could you describe the flavor?
It's good. It's I will describe it. It's I'm gonna try my best Big Barney Ross. Although it's not. What you laughing at, Rob?
I'm laughing because Chris finally said something worthwhile. At the end of the story, we meet at the paw and jerk each other off. Yes, you had a circle jerk of fucking you guys just jerking each other off. Thank you.
Hey, speaking of Big Barney Ross, old
I would rather be jerking off on the paw than crying in the stands.
Speaking of Big Barney Ross, old Justin Trudeau yesterday said that the Canadians aren't going to be taking any vacations in America, and they were going to boycott American things such as bourbon. So that'll leave more for Big Barney Ross since his people won't be consuming it. What's that?
That would break us if they stopped coming to the United States. I couldn't handle that.
Oh, that's another thing.
I don't think we'll survive.
Speaking on that, I saw a ton of videos on social media of like Canadian people putting their American goods like in a bin, and there was a noticeable absence of Americans putting their Canadian goods in the trash bin.
Yeah.
And I got thinking, I was like, what have
I put my Bret Hart shirt in a bin. How about that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I got to thinking, what have I actually ever bought from Canada? And it was legitimately nothing. Like, I've never bought anything from Canada.
Yeah, that's a good point. What is the only thing that from Canada that has been worthwhile other than Bret Hart?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe you could say maple syrup, but we got Mrs. Buttersworth. We got Aunt Jemima. I mean, come on.
So Canada's just lucky they don't play in the SEC.
Oh,
that's true,
Bret
too.
Hart and Owen Hart. That's pretty much.
Well, and did y'all see
Chris Jericho? I mean,
I don't want to get too political.
Jericho's from. He doesn't want to be.
Well, I don't want to get too political, but did y'all see Trudeau
Jericho's from
came out and
Vancouver?
said
Yes.
to intentionally boo the
Edge is
national
from
anthem?
Toronto.
You're talking about during the hockey thing?
No, he just came out in a press statement to like all of Canada that they should intentionally boo the national anthem of America and boycott all of our goods.
I didn't even think Canadians liked Trudeau.
They don't. Apparently,
they don't.
from what I was reading on Twitter.
Could y'all imagine that? What other world leader have you ever heard say just boo the national anthem? I mean, if we don't just absolutely fucking sanction the shit out of them over that.
I don't know, but last night, that congressional thing last night was like, it was like a sporting event. I mean, when that green guy got kicked out, I mean, they were like going, nah, 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 hey, hey, hey.
Did you see that cane he had? He had like a fucking Western cane.
It's like a pink cane.
Yeah.
Dude. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. I do think that we could take the 5 people that are right here and annex Canada. So they need to shut up.
Oh, well, Ontario, I think it might have been Ontario. It was somebody on the western portion of Canada, one of those provinces. One of their leaders came out talking about wanting to secede to the U.S. I don't know.
Well, if we really wanted to have fun, we'd take Big Barney Ross and his lawnmower and his ammo, and we'd be fine. Don't take his tractor, just his lawnmower.
I'd be willing to bet Big Barney Ross's arsenal is greater than every single citizen in Canada put together. I think that's a fair bet to make.
Pretty sure they own guns.
And Big Barney Ross. That's all we need to annex the entire country.
Exactly. Big Barney Ross and some cheap bourbon. It's got to be the jet fuel. It can't be some good stuff. It's got to be the jet fuel. Something to get him right.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got to give him some of that Kentucky NIL bourbon that he wrote about on our website. That he said it was like the worst shit ever. Give him some of that. Tell him he doesn't get anything good until he gets up there.
Why is our basketball team choking again, man?
We suck. You just need to accept that we suck and move on to holding him accountable if we suck next year.
I think he's talking about Tennessee.
He's a Tennessee man.
Yeah, I'm
You're
talking
a Tennessee man.
Yeah,
that game,
we're choking against Ole Miss.
You're not choking. Y'all, it's a 2-half game. Y'all will be.
We were up big, and then now we're only up by 2.
Hey, as a Tennessee man, I've got to ask you, if we're talking, let's just say we'll measure it in terms of notches. How many notches do you feel you're above South Carolina or below South Carolina? And how many notches do you feel you're above Clemson or below Clemson?
Well, are we talking about like now or going
like next season? Yeah, next season. Going into next season, and we'll say a 2-year window.
I'd say we're 1 notch below both. There you go.
Okay, why do you say that? That's a lot. I didn't expect that.
I didn't either.
It's not all sunshine and rainbows over here like a lot of the Tennessee fans want you to believe. Our defense is still going to be really good next year, but I'm so worried about our offense specifically. We have offensive talent. We just don't have good coaching. We've got terrible offensive coaching, especially on the road, and we haven't beaten Florida or Alabama in their home turf in over 20 years. And the way I've seen it, we're keeping all the same guys coaching our offense. I don't see anything changing. So in terms of how good we are as a team, I think we're on the level of South Carolina and Clemson, but Lord forbid if we play one of y'all on the road, I'm sure we'll do dick all like we always do.
Can I won at Florida in over 20 years?
Yeah. Last time was 0-3 for both.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Hey, can I
this
read
is the
something?
best of chance as any, but
and that's playing every 2 years there, right?
Yeah. It's best of chance as any to finally get over the hump and beat them, but
I saved this comment. I want to read this comment to you guys. This is after a couple of spring practices at a major college, okay? And I'm going to read this comment from the coach, and you tell me what coach said this. All right? Quote, I don't really have any expectations. It's going to be up to each individual. I know we have got a good plan. I know we can do the right things to put a good product on the field. Everybody that buys into it and wants to be a part of it will be a part of it. And if they don't, they can go somewhere else. That's their decision. Anybody want to tell me who said that?
Kurt Signetti.
No.
Yeah, that I'm telling you, that sounds like Dabo talk.
Bell?
No. Come on, Peckerhead. This is your guy.
Is it Brian Kelly?
No. Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick? I believe it. I believe it.
After the first 2 practices at North Carolina, he said that. Which
I like that.
Can you read that again? Because I was watching my dog chew her ear. Sorry.
All right. So from Bill Belichick, this is his first comments after the first 2 practices for North Carolina. I don't really have any expectations. It's going to be up to each individual. I know we've got a good plan. I know we can do the right things to put a good product on the field. Everybody that buys into it and wants to be a part of it will be a part of it. And if they don't, they can go somewhere else. That's their decision. That is the most Belichick answer ever.
Well, that's just basically that should be what they're telling the players behind closed doors, but he's just bringing it out.
Well, and that's what I was telling you too. I mean, the schematically, he's going to be the best coach in college football. There's no way around it. watching film, breaking down film, doing all the ins and outs of a coach, he's going to be the best.
It's just a matter of how much
Sneaky
talent
good.
they can
Rob,
get.
what would you do if they won the ACC?
They're not going to win the ACC.
Not this year.
That's not an option.
Clemson-
What would you do if they did?
Well, okay. Well, if I have to live in that land, then you have to live in the land of, I don't know, Vanderbilt winning the SEC. That's how.
No, it's not that far fetched.
It's not.
That would be
it's
like
not
Texas
that.
A&M winning the SEC or LSU.
The ACC right now is a complete dumpster fire. It's
Yeah.
right now going into next season. It's basically Clemson, and then maybe a step below that is Miami, and then everybody else is somewhere down below there. I mean, who else besides Clemson in that conference is actually going to be good next year?
I don't know.
SMU would probably be good again. They got most of their players back.
Now, here's an unpopular opinion, and I'm going to float it with y'all. And I think the ACC is rebounding, believe
In
it or
football?
not. If you look, in football. If you look at the quality of coaching that is in the ACC, it's actually pretty fucking high level. I mean, they got the old Texans coach. What's his name again at Boston College?
Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien. You got Belichick there now. Even though Dabo's a little nepotism camera whore, you got to give him flowers. I mean, the level of coaching, Mario Cristobal, he ain't. I mean, he's cut his teeth. He's level of coaching in the ACC has definitely taken a step up.
I was buying everything until you talked about Cristobal.
No, listen, you got to respect Cristobal at the very least for what he's done.
He won? What's he won, sir?
He had a damn good year at Miami. They were terrible last year. They won 4 games last year? 5 games?
They were in a bowl game. They just lost to Rutgers, so it made it seem like
they beat Clemson.
That might have been the case. But regardless of the fact, they definitely weren't on the level they were this year. So what do y'all honestly think about that? I mean, the level of coaching has stepped up in the ACC.
I think Duke might be decent again, too.
Well, yeah.
Well, and Georgia Tech's head coach is nice, too.
Belichick is undetermined because we have yet to see him coach in college. We already know Clemson's going to be good just because of how loaded they are this season. Now, going into 26 would be my concern for Clemson, but that's not the current year, so we don't have to worry about that. But after that, you just kind of go down the list. And I think Cristobal is an elite recruiter, but he's in game management. He's one of the worst coaches I've ever seen.
I do remember. What was that? Wasn't he the coach when they fucked up that Neil?
Yeah, he's done that twice now.
Yeah.
I don't know how you make that same mistake twice in a row. That's something you remember for a lifetime. And then somehow he did it again. Like, you got to be styrofoam brain to do something like that.
I have a doomsday scenario for Clemson that is not that far-fetched. And I told some of my Clemson friends about it, and they told me, that's a lot of ifs, but here's my thing with Clemson this season. I think Clemson's returning 16 of 22 starters. Okay. But my thing is that they're going to lean on Brown to be the linebacker that kind of comes in and takes some of these snaps that Barrett Carter had. My thing is that if the linebacking core doesn't mature like they're supposed to, and Clemson doesn't find a running back to replace Phil Maffa, which the coaching staff didn't have, and Jackpot will even tell you this, they didn't have any confidence in any of these other guys. They ran him to death last season, wouldn't give these other guys carries. It looks stupid what they did. They don't figure out what's going on in the run game. They slip up. They drop the game to LSU at home, get the fans pissed off on that front. They lose to Louisville. They lose to Florida State. They lose to South Carolina, all because they can't figure out what to do with the linebackers, and they don't figure out what's going on at running back. And Cade Klubnik decides, hey, I'm going to try to throw the ball all over the field, and it's not going to work.
Clemson lose to Florida State.
Yep.
Come on, man.
I don't see that. Maybe the offense struggles in this doomsday scenario, but with Penn State's defensive coordinator, I don't see the defense.
Here's the thing.
The thing with Penn State's defensive coordinator is they took a step back from this year to last year.
with Florida State,
They're
they've got
still really
three
good.
guys in their secondary
players,
that
though.
are projected to be like top round defensive backs, and I'm thinking they take Klubnik back up and down the field. You can insert Boston College, Florida State, whatever other team that you want there, and Clemson drops all those games. Dabo Swinney's gone to the portal, so people can't bitch about that. They could have a 7-5 season. They really could, and it wouldn't be a fault bet. It really wouldn't. So,
does anybody think that Dave Doran could go on a redemption tour and have a good season?
No, he don't have a quarterback.
Have the player.
Well,
Yeah, I got something interesting for y'all. I want to float this by y'all. Have y'all seen the projected favorites for the Heisman yet?
no.
But I've got them right here, available to bet now. So you just float out who you think your best guess is for the leading
Jeremiah
favorite.
Smith.
Arch Manning.
Nussmeier.
Squid's got it.
And
Arch Manning.
Arch Manning. He's
Arch
got
Manning,
so much.
by far, a leading favorite at
Yeah.
plus 800.
He hasn't even started.
Yeah.
But he's a Manning, so the media is going to be going the entire.
Yeah,
well, but
that's-
people
You
want to
got it
bet.
right on the head.
That's what it boils down
I'll go
to.
down the list, though. I'll go down the list. Tell me what y'all think of this. You got Arch Manning at plus 800, okay? Garrett Nussmeier, second best odds, plus 1,000. Cade Klubnik, third best odds, plus 1,400.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Smith, fourth best odds, plus 1,600. And then you get into the ties. So you got Lenore Sellers, Drew Aller, and Nico all at plus 1,800. I guess that would be a tie for fifth. But really, that's 7 players. And then you round it out with DJ Lagway, Carson Beck at Miami, and then you got a 2-way tie between Dante Moore at Oregon and Julian Sayin.
I had some Miami fan arguing with me about, they were going to win the ACC because now we have a quarterback. The guy actually posted that.
Carson,
He had a quarterback last year.
if Carson Beck's head was screwed on right and he's in the right system and he has some decent receivers, he could be dangerous.
Exactly. I don't think he's bad at all. I think he's a quarterback.
It's the defense is my main concern for Miami. That they had an elite passing game last season and it didn't do anything because their defense is letting them score 40 points a game.
Number one, but hey, you don't have a didn't have a quarterback, but whatever.
Yeah, the quarterback was certainly not the issue. If you want to talk about the issue, it's shit in the bed versus Syracuse. I mean, you controlled your own destiny and you let Clemson backdoor their way into the playoffs because you're a terrible team.
Not to mention the fact that your coach is still Mario Cristobal is going to lay out a big Cleveland steamer in one of these games.
I think he lost I was watching, I don't know if you saw it, Kale, but at the Vanderbilt game, they had a huge Jumbotron. Didn't they lose to Georgia Tech?
Yeah.
It was like double, triple overtime. Yeah, I'll watch that on the Jumbotron.
No, they lost Georgia Tech. Are you talking about the bowl game?
No, it was whatever week we went to the Carolina Vanderbilt game. I think
Miami. Yeah. They lost to Georgia Tech. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, that was because Cam Ward fumbled the ball at the end of the game.
Yeah. I watched that on the Jumbotron at the Vandy, which, by the way, Squid, save your – I don't know if you've ever been. Don't ever go to Vandy. Shitty fan experience. It's just not fun.
I kind of expected that.
It's not fun, and it's probably the worst football game I've ever been to as far as fan experience.
Yeah, and the world's going to end before they finish that construction.
It smells like raw sewage on the outside of the stadium too. Like it's just all around.
I think that had something to do with it was raining.
Yeah. That's just the natural scent of Vandy football. To be fair,
that might have been it. The bowling banners. It came.
It rained. It rained all before that game, and then it just stopped long enough for us to get the game in, and then it started pouring after it was over with. It was the damnedest thing. I walked to my car. I walked across their baseball field.
I parked over by where you did.
Yeah,
the Vandy Boys field.
The only college stadiums I've been to outside of Neyland have been the Death Valley, LSU's Death Valley, not the fake Death Valley, and then Athens. I went to the Georgia-Tennessee game this past year.
Oh hell yeah!
I love it when people don't call Clemson
between Georgia and LSU.
LSU says that Clemson had it first. Their own athletics department said Clemson had the first Death Valley, but
about to just say.
Their athletics department said it, but dum-dums are like, not the freaking valley.
Well, here's the
Line
real
and
question.
sinker.
I think. Hold up.
You said it, but nah.
Hold up. And I'm gonna pose this for Kale and Squid in the chat. All right. And I think this will determine it. All things equal on the field. All right. Both teams are equal. Would you rather play a night game at LSU or a night game at Clemson?
Night game at Clemson. Not even a question.
Yeah, all things equal, both teams are the same. Would you rather play a night game at Clemson or at LSU?
Yeah, definitely night game at Clemson. I mean, just ask Louisville about that.
What does that have to do with the naming when LSU said it themselves?
It's not about the naming. It's about the hostility of the environment. That's why he asked the question.
Well,
LSU's environment at night is a complete death zone. And then Clemson's best contribution at night is petting a friggin' rock.
I tell you what, I don't want to play a night game at South Carolina because of the crackheads around the stadium. It's the same theory.
I think if you're in a large crowd of people coming back from the football game, you'd probably be safe from the crackheads.
What's Tennessee like at throwing mustard bottles all on the field?
Yeah, and we're damn good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to ask because a rare, sensible Tennessee fan, I wanted to get your ceiling and your floor for the season.
Our ceiling, if everything goes right, is going to be 11-1. I don't see us going undefeated. Not with our schedule. I definitely see us blowing at least one game. Because I don't think we're beating both Florida and Alabama on the road if things go right. I think the floor is 7-5. And it all starts with whatever happens with Syracuse in week 1. But it's not a road game, so that makes me a lot more confident about it. It's a neutral site, and also Syracuse their offense will probably take a step back.
Well, I'll give you my realistic Carolina, because for all the stuff I talk, I think Rob and Kel and TRD will both agree I am actually a sensible Carolina fan. I've got our floor. I'll start with our floor. I've already told them it's at 5. I think bare minimum we're getting 5 wins. And I think our ceiling is 10, but I think average out, we're probably going to get around 8 to 9 wins this year.
That's what I say, too, about Carolina.
It's going to be a lot about like whatever happens in some of those true road games y'all have to face, because you've got some really, really tough road games.
Yeah, and I think the Missouri game is going to be that pivot game. That's where we're going to determine what kind of team we got, because I think Missouri is going to be a tough outing. I mean, they have been for the past 2 years. Granted, I guess it all depends on how Prebula is. That's their new quarterback they got in. I don't really have high hopes for him, but the Missouri fans are excited. So
let me read Brock's comment here. Brock says, as good as Klubnik was last year, he's nothing that great. Not bad, but not this amazing Heisman level quarterback. He's nowhere near the level of Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence. You, sir, are correct.
I agree.
He's not better than Taj Boyd.
100%.
So let's put that out there. He is absolutely 1,000,000% correct. Great comment there, Brock.
Yeah, that is one thing. I granted, I don't take this as a South Carolina guy hating on a Clemson quarterback, but as him being the third highest, I haven't seen really any game where I'm like, that's a Heisman winner right there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that was probably the most surprising, and DJ Lagway being up there. I mean, I guess you can go Arch Manning at first, but Cade at 3 was a bit surprising, just because he's played for 3 years now, 2.5 years.
Well, he had a really good game against Texas.
I could definitely see some. This is going to be a year, I think, where none of like the top guys in the race actually end up winning. I could see some.
I could see that guy.
I could see Sam Levitt from Arizona State.
I could see that. You think I'm crazy? I could see that dude from Oklahoma being a sleeper. That Mateer dude.
He did have a really good season
at
Washington State. Although I certainly hope not.
Yeah, do y'all play Oklahoma?
Yeah, thankfully we get him at home this season, but yeah, we got to play him again.
Hey, now, Squidward, as a sane fan, do you think 1,000-yard rusher from Utah State's a bomb?
1,000-yard rusher from Utah State. And
hold on,
in
wait. Compared to the fourth leading rusher
compared
in
to
the
Rocket Sanders, yeah. Do you think a 1,000-yard rusher will be able to get at least 800 yards?
Do you want to bet me on that? Do you want to bet that this 1,000-yard guy will get what Rocket Sanders had last year? Rocket Sanders will have a better year than whatever this
I don't know.
guy
I need to see the spring game.
Yeah.
So you don't want to bet that? Because I'll bet it right now.
I don't know. Will you bet 6.5 under?
I guess
know where 6.5 is.
You can go on FanDuel and bet it down. FanDuel's at 7.5. Just bet it down. Anybody who's ever placed a bet knows you can bet down a win total.
So 5.5. If you find 6.
No, what are you talking about? 5.5. Go on FanDuel. I'm looking at it right now at 7.5. Just bet it down.
7.5. I'm not betting it down.
Yeah, no, bet 6.5 under. 6.5 under.
Vegas has you at 5.5, and I said you win 6.
Vegas doesn't have us at 5. I'm looking at FanDuel at 7.5. FanDuel, what are you talking about? Vegas has us at Vegas. FanDuel is Vegas.
I don't know what Rob was looking at.
Yeah, so Rob is popping off, so that kind of assumes, that kind of answers my question about what this is about. But I guess my answer to your question, Peckerhead, would be like what style of offense they're running. If they're running a dual running back system, or if they've just got the top running back that they just shove up the middle or whatever. I could definitely see him getting over 800 yards.
Yeah. The South Carolina offense is plug and play. You can put any running back there, and they're going to be great.
What the huh? Plug and play at South Carolina.
What you're talking about. Yes, that's me. You're thinking that this kid from Utah State is going to replace the fourth leading rusher in the SEC. Is in his mind is basically on par with 1,000-yard back from Utah State. Not
so happening. Is it? So are we saying it's not impressive to run for 1,000 yards at Utah State?
No, but Rocket Sanders was in the SEC before he came to you guys. Utah State, I don't even know what conference.
But I don't answer my question. Is it not impressive to run for 1,000 yards at Utah State?
Is that
factor in the O-line, factor in the lack of a passing game, factor in everything. Is it not impressive for someone to run for 1,000 yards plus at Utah State?
It's impressive for anybody to run that amount, but impressive at Utah State, impressive in the SEC.
They gave
you have to factor in the lack of defense with also the lack of offensive line.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. I think he'll reach around the same level. I don't think he's going to go beyond what Rocket Sanders did, but I think Lenora Sellers is probably going to do better passing-wise than I think he's going to have more passing yards this year than he did last year. So it's going to balance out. I think South Carolina's offense.
I think so, definitely. Major reason, Nick Harbor quitting track, focusing solely on football.
Yeah. And the only reason I bring that up is because his whole argument outside of what we're losing on defense, his whole argument on our offense being worse stems on we don't have Rocket Sanders back.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I genuinely believe that we could see game day at the end of the year. Finally, take a break from Ohio State, Michigan, and go to that Palmetto Bowl showdown. If South Carolina ends up being really, really good, then I could definitely see that. We'll probably be seeing like a 10-1 Clemson against if we see a 10-1 Clemson against a 10-1 South Carolina or something like that, then yes, I guarantee you game day is going to that.
11-0.
They'll probably go to Georgia Tech.
No. No.
I look, the other end of it too. I do think that I agree that Lenore Sellers is going to have more passing yards simply because your new offensive coordinator is not going to let him run all over the damn field.
Yeah, he's going to be Kirk Cousins.
They're going to make him stand in the pocket.
Yeah. Can you believe that, Squid? He thinks Mike Shula is going to tell Lenora Sellers to play like Kirk Cousins.
So basically, just get rid of one part of his entire animal.
He's been saying this for weeks. He's been saying this since the bowl game. You're going to make Lenore Sellers play like a pocket passer.
If that was his philosophy, South Carolina would have never hired
Mike Shula had Super Cam, Rob. Super Cam. Super Cam wasn't Kirk Cousins.
Cool.
What are we talking about?
Both of them have made comments about wanting to stay in the pocket and make more passes from the pocket. They both have said that.
That doesn't mean he's going to ban him from running.
That doesn't mean he's going to strictly do just that.
You can't cover sports seriously and think Mike Shula is going to turn him into a pocket passer.
Well, that's your opinion. I'm telling you,
he does need to level up his passing game, but
leveling up your passing game isn't turning him into a pocket passer.
No.
I think they want
you
him
can't
to make
seriously
more plays.
like if you think that you're not worth your salt if you're a sports
Beamer even
journalist.
said that they want him to make more plays in the pocket. So either if they're saying that, then I guess what you're saying is that they're all liars.
No, what I'm saying is more plays in the pocket isn't strictly a pocket passer, Rob. That is the biggest straw man of all time.
That's not what I said. I said
that is what you said.
Going to try to make them make more plays in the pocket, not be a complete pocket passer. That's not what I said.
So, and what's wrong with that?
These arguments together, but the reality is that they don't want him doing this stuff where, hey, he's just going to run all the time because he's going to end up dead.
Well, you said that they weren't going to let him run. That kind of implies that
they're not going to run all these plays where he's going to get. He's going to but he had one game where he had 22 carries. They're not going to do that. They don't want their quarterback getting hit 22 times in a game.
I wouldn't want that for my quarterback. No. Hell
no.
That's why your quarterback lost the game, TRD. Your quarterback lost at Death Valley, so who cares how many carries your quarterback?
You don't want him getting 22. Jesus Christ! I can't.
Hey, if it wins ball games, I don't give a fuck if he gets 30 carries, Rob. What are you talking about? You don't want him. We've got this guy for 3 years. I want him to get every single touch he can have. What do you mean you don't want him to get 20 carries? I want this guy to be involved in every bit of our offense.
The only reason I would see them not letting Lenore Sellers run would be to prevent him from getting injured. That's it. He's an incredible dual threat.
Ding, ding. There you go, Squidtard. He's not going to have these games where he gets 20 to 25 carries a game.
Don't want him getting hurt.
He's just scared of him getting hurt. Then why even play the game?
Games where he had over 20 carries, Rob. You're acting like every game he had over 20 carries.
A sixth of your schedule, he had over 20 carries a game.
A sixth of our. So how many games is that? A sixth of our schedule? 2 games?
I'm checking to make sure because I think he had more than that. But
that's what I think. A sixth of our schedule would be like 2 games. I mean.
Right. Well, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm checking for it right now, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Although this does go back to the whole argument about the running back situation, because if they're not going to let Sellers run, then that likely means that South Carolina's running back is going to have more yards. Therefore, whoever made that bet about him having more than 800 or so yards, probably going to be right.
Yeah, Gamecock fans
going to be a pocket passer for sure.
So that's what they're thinking.
Did you see how many games? I'll pull it up.
I got it right now. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, point is,
how many games did he go over 20 carries?
Now, so against Old Dominion, 23 carries. Against I'm sorry, that's not right. Old Dominion, 22 carries. He had more. Let's see here. So it was one game he had 22 carries.
One game. Okay, but they're doing it every game, right? He's averaging 25 a game.
Let me finish. He had 4 games out of your schedule where he had 15 carries or more. That's too many hits on your quarterback.
No, he should have 15 carries a game.
Okay.
He's Lenore Sellers. He's not Cade Klubnik.
He will die if he
won't die. He's 6'3", 250.
He died last year.
He had 15. If he averages,
dude's
15
built like a smaller LeBron. He ain't gonna die. What are you talking about?
He had 11 carries against Illinois.
How many carries per game did Cam Newton have? Let me see.
You're acting like Lenore Sellers got a Nico build.
That's what I'm saying. The dude is built like fucking Hulk.
Okay. Maybe they should line him up at running back then.
Let me see how many stats Cam Newton had per game. How many rushing attempts? Just give me one moment. We're gonna go to Auburn. Let's see.
I mean, they weren't scared to let Jalen Milroe run the football at Alabama. You know what I mean? So I guarantee you they would. This goes back to what I was saying before. If they were trying to make sure he wasn't able to run the football, they wouldn't have hired him in the first place, because I had a feeling Shane Beamer would know better than that.
All right, here it is. Rushing. Cam Newton had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games on a shorter season of over 20 rushing attempts.
All right, so you think Sellers is Cam Newton?
I think he's built exactly like Cam Newton, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
My other thing too is that Rocket Sanders finished with only 17 more carries than Sellers had at quarterback. So there's that too.
Yeah, we need to get Sellers involved. You just gloss over the fact that Cam Newton had twice as much usage as Sellers throughout the year and was perfectly fine. And the fact that they have the same build and now they have the same coach. He was coaching Cam Newton, Super Cam in the NFL. If you think,
and you got to think, and you're looking at that stuff from 2010, right?
Yeah, they got less games and he had 7.
And we have a lot more. There's a lot more advances that have been made in sports medicine since then too.
Yeah, and there's 2 buys. So to think Lenore Sellers can't handle 15 carries, 18 carries, 20 carries per game.
You've also got more.
Ridiculous.
They're also a little bit stricter with your rules on hitting the quarterback. Now, I mean, if they go running with it, they're running back. But
and you see, Beth, Sellers is not Cam Newton. I don't think I said that. I think you need to go look up Cam Newton's measurables and Lenore Sellers' measurables, and you'll find they're pretty comparable. They're physically essentially the same player. So, Beth, maybe you missed that point entirely, but, you know.
I'm about to turn off this basketball game. All we keep doing is bricking threes, and now Ole Miss just tied the ball game.
How much time's left?
There's 15 minutes left.
To be fair, that's a tough place to play.
Yeah, but we got to try and
Didn't you have a big win on Saturday?
Yeah, we had a huge. I mean, we had a huge.
I want a classic letdown spot there.
That was the Alabama game, wasn't it?
Yeah, the old.
I watched the replay on that. Did TRD or Rob or Kale, any of y'all see the replay on how Alabama lost that game?
It's a buzzer beater.
Yeah, we were talking about old Tom Bailey and what he had sent me in a message.
Well, the inbound too. Yeah, the inbound too. I don't know if y'all saw that. They had an inbound. They had possession, and they got a 5-second penalty with 2 timeouts. And then gave a buzzer beater on the turnover of that penalty. I mean,
video.
That's a Mario Cristobal way to lose. I know I said he was a good coach, but that's Mario Cristobal in basketball fashion.
Well, so much for getting that 1 seed, man. We're Ole Miss about to tie this thing back up. We might actually blow it. Dadgummit, come on. Please, give me something.
I'm out of here, guys. Hey,
Yeah,
Jack.
I was about to head off too.
Cruise, man.
Thank you, sir.
I'll see you.
I'll take pictures and make videos for you.
Definitely.
Grub over in the comment section with some dumb comments. He says, comparing Sellers to Cam Newton, tell me you don't know college football without telling me. Okay, you're also the dumb fuck who commented a few minutes ago that Sellers would be wearing an Auburn jersey by game 6 this season.
Also, he's not literally comparing Sellers to Cam Newton by talent. He's comparing him by build. That's a completely different comparison.
This is the thing that goes over everybody's head. Like, they're so dense, they can't understand.
They take the biggest extreme out of something you say. I think Sellers is a lot like Cam Newton in terms of his build. Oh, that means you must think South Carolina's winning the national championship.
Yeah.
No.
That's exactly where it goes, and that's the thing it's just baffling to me. Because you say something so simple and they take it into a field you didn't even mean at all. And we've seen that twice with Beth. We've seen that with whoever just said that, you know. Rob does it every now and then. Rob's better than most, but some days I would argue today even he's just like the rest of them, all right? He strawmans the hell out of you. He doesn't take anything. Rob knows for a fact he can go on FanDuel right now and just bet down the over-under to 6.5 and take the under.
I'm not betting down anything.
Yeah. He knows you want better odds, right?
Find me 6 wins, I will bet it. Why would I pay more to bet it down? Why would I?
Yeah, while you're here, this is really important for me to know. So they're talking about canceling some of these big-time rivalry games in the future. We've had this conversation before, or you guys have had this conversation before. Yeah. Is it a law for y'all to play?
No, not a law. I will answer because there was There was some confusion on the stream. I Googled it, and I got a false answer from the AI.
It's a resolution.
Resolution. So not a law. However, I mean, the game's going to be played every year. I mean, regardless of the fact, nothing's going to change on that end. You know what I mean?
Or at least we'd all hope so.
I mean, no, without a doubt, barring COVID, the game's going to be played every year. I mean,
I can give you a reason why it may not happen that some people may not want to talk about. But if we get to a point, no, it has nothing to do with Clemson being scared of anything.
Terrified is the verb you're looking for.
The reality is that if it gets down to a point where they take the game or take the scheduling away from the athletic directors and they tell them, look, we're going to play 10 ACC or SEC games, there's going to be some athletic directors that are going to be like, what the hell? Why would we schedule another 5 teams?
Well, yeah, but you're talking about the SEC may go to 9 conference games, and then they're talking about that agreement with the Big Ten thing.
Where you could play a team from the Big Ten, too. So you could be.
So that would give you 10. I mean, I could see.
So you could be like, why would they do that? So, yeah, I mean, I could see where it doesn't happen. Me personally, I don't think the game should be played between those two. I don't think Georgia should play Georgia Tech either.
Rivalries, why not? Rivalries are such a huge part of this game.
I get that, but no, it has nothing to do with that. It's as far as what's going to make your schedule better. Okay? That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, here's an honest question, Rob. Mm-hmm. And I'll pose it for everyone on the panel. Does anyone seriously believe that another ACC game is going to strengthen Clemson's schedule more than the South Carolina game would?
No. Depends on who the ACC team is.
I don't give a fuck who it is, Rob. Every year, South Carolina is one of the top 3 teams you play. And you're talking about it's a Super Bowl, it's a Super Bowl, it's a Super Bowl. You play a bunch of losers.
You're not the top game. You're not in the top 3.
Okay, who was better than South Carolina last year on your schedule? That wasn't an SEC team.
I can go back year by year.
No, man, go back last year. Go back last year.
Oh, so we can just take just one year. Okay.
Yeah, just take last year, the most recent year. Yeah, take that.
I don't know. I mean, if we look at it by year, though, I can give you years where South Carolina was.
Well, he told us Pittsburgh was better.
He told us Pittsburgh was better. They lost 7 straight after that.
Yeah, I still think Pittsburgh's a good team.
He still thinks they're better, though. Hey, but honestly, if you take off your orange glasses, there isn't outside of Georgia.
Why can't you just admit that there are years where you're not that fucking good, and you're the 5th or 6th best team on our schedule? Why can't you do that?
I can admit that as soon as you admit South Carolina was the second best team
when we beat you 56-7, you were the 6th best team on our schedule, maybe 7th or 8th.
Well, all right, now in for a second. South Carolina was the second best team you played last year?
Probably.
Okay. Then I'll admit we're bad some years, obviously.
You're bad
in here. We won 3 games in 2020. Obviously, we're bad some years, but for you to finally admit, now I want you to go back last year. Go back 2 years ago. South Carolina was a top 3 team on your schedule. Name me 3 teams better than South Carolina on your schedule last year.
Florida State was on our schedule that year. They went on to go better. Yeah, they were better.
I'll give you Florida State.
I got to look at the rest of the schedule. I don't remember who was on it.
Obviously. You wanted to go year by year, though. Well, let's go back 3 years. Which 3 teams were better than South Carolina 3 years ago when we beat you at home?
The schedule, just calm down. I'll find the schedule here.
No, I'm calm. I'm just saying, you want to go year by year. I want 3 teams who are better than us for the past 3 years.
Notre Dame was back in 22. Notre Dame was better.
Notre Dame. Yep, Notre Dame. That was what, 3 years? Was that 3 seasons?
22. Yeah, 22. Yeah,
pretty much every year. Notre Dame's.
So Notre Dame. Who else on that schedule, Squid? Since you've got it up,
I've got it right.
I don't have it up. I just remember that off the top of my head. I can't really think of anybody else because, like, again, everybody in the ACC besides Clemson and Florida State that one year is garbage, straight garbage.
Well, I think they played A&M in 22.
I started with 2019-2020. A&M was better than you were.
North Carolina.
North
In
Carolina.
22, was that when they had old
In
Drake May, right? Yeah.
1920. 2019, 2020.
They beat us that year, I think, too. Didn't they?
That was
No,
23.
in 2022, the Taters played them in the ACC championship game, so that doesn't really.
Yeah, we beat you guys 38-3 that year. Won the ACC 62-17 over Virginia. NC State was probably better than you were. That was the year you guys were terrible.
Which year are you speaking of?
2019, 2020.
That was the year we beat Georgia. That was the year we just
Yeah, that was the 3-win year,
foot.
wasn't it?
The year y'all lost to
No, it
Appalachian
was
State.
4.
Yeah, you lost to App State.
Yeah,
I
beat
was at
Georgia,
that
lost to
You
App
were
State.
7th or 8th on the schedule that year. Do we need to keep going?
I would like you to start from 2022 and move on. That was the
Okay,
more
why don't we
recent
just
time
cherry
frame I
pick it?
said.
We just pick.
It's not a cherry pick. It's 3-year span. It's a 3-year span.
I do want to make it clear, though, that Clemson in the SEC would not be a splendid time for him in the most previous of seasons.
Oh, obviously.
I mean, they went 0-3 in the SEC last season. So
I'll look up the 2022 Clemson schedule since it's not being produced.
All right. Well, y'all can do all this stuff if you want. You're still not worth a shit. Nothing you're gonna say to me is gonna.
Well, let's see what 3 teams are better than the.
Right.
What'd you say?
I'm
Rob?
ready to go to bed. I'm tired. It's
Oh
late.
my gosh! Now he wants to run.
Hold
Now he
on.
wants
If
to
you
run.
want-
This is so
No.
crazy. He goes
Let me-
back to a year nobody said, and now that I want to bring up
Whenever
the
we're
3-year
getting
window,
smacked
I wanna
around,
talk
we're ready
about
for
he
the
wants to
rack.
go to bed.
You guys couldn't
It's
smack around a
insane.
limp dick. You're a fucking.
It's just
piece
such
of shit, man.
Clemson delusion, man.
You,
Such
hey,
Clemson
let
delusion.
me teach you something,
Oh
sir.
my god!
If you want to debate this, we can
Yeah.
do this on Sunday night. It's called a
Uh,
tease, sir.
Okay.
I will be here Sunday night with Big Barney Ross, and we'll be happy to laugh at you as you come in here and say that you're a better program than Clemson is.
Is that what I said, or is that a straw man? That seems like a big old straw man.
You said that your
What'd I
team
say?
is one of the top 3 teams we play, right? Isn't that what you said?
yeah, but he never said they were better.
So one of the top 3 teams you play means better program. King of the straw man.
On
King of the straw man. King of the straw man.
On average, you're like 5th. Okay, you're
On
not
average,
that good.
Oh, so, but hold up. Does saying I'm a top 3 team you play mean I'm a better program than you?
Well, I don't think you're that stupid to think that you're a better program than Clemson. I mean, you're not.
Okay, so saying I'm a top 3 team you play doesn't mean that I'm saying I'm a better program than you. So you made that up, right?
No, I didn't make up anything. You
Okay. You didn't make that up?
That you're a better program. You've made comments. You think that you're better than we are, and you're not.
Okay. Well, we beat you, didn't we, at your own stadium?
Sure. And Michigan beat Ohio State. and
Okay.
Ohio
Is
State
it head-to-head the best judgment of who's the better team?
Fluke. It's called a fluke, sir.
Hey, is head-to-head the best judgment of who's the better team then?
No.
So is
What? That's-
record.
Oh,
all right,
head-to-head
So
isn't
yeah,
the
fluke-
best judgment of who's the better team.
Peckerhead. How old are you, sir? How old?
I don't
are
know.
you?
How old are you?
How old a fella
Well,
are you?
Don't forget this. Who was ranked higher at the end of the season?
He don't want to talk about that. Hey, but Kale and Squid, since we can't get a serious answer, is head-to-head not the best judgment of who the better team is?
You're
Pretty
absolutely
damn good
right.
judgment.
And in head-to-head competition, I asked you how
Generally,
old.
generally accepted.
So head-to-head is what matters. Okay.
Yeah, so we're a better team than you.
You know, it's not
Right.
the defining factor, but South Carolina and Clemson had even records. So
Hard
that,
knows
yeah,
where I'm going.
Yeah.
I think you're what, 23 years old? You would have to go until you're 52 fucking years old to be even with Clemson in the head-to-head, which is what you said that mattered.
Okay.
Head-to-head, we fucking mouth pump you.
So, but we
Like
were the better team last year, right?
that's
But
not
we beat
talking
you
about
last year.
better program.
One year.
Hey, but who's got the better team last year? Who had the better team last year, Rob?
The playoff team.
Oh, the playoff
Team
team,
in
not the
playoffs?
head-to-head loss.
The playoff team is what
Okay, I
matters.
thought head-to-head mattered. Does head-to-head not matter?
You said head-to-head mattered, not
You
me.
just said head-to-head mattered too.
I said it's a fluke, dude.
You
That's
just said
what I
head-to-head
said.
mattered. You'll be 52 before you ever see South
Yeah,
Carolina
and
be
that's
better.
true.
You
You'll
just
be
said
52
head-to-head
years
mattered.
old.
So
I
who's the better
said
team
that
last year?
To reinforce your point, you think the head-to-head matters, but in reality, you're going to have fluke years, which is what you had. But the majority
But
of the
head-to-head
time,
doesn't matter.
you lose. Yeah, you're right. Going to the playoffs matter. Did you go? No.
So Rob
was it a
Sanders,
fluke?
head-to-head doesn't matter.
Was it a fluke
Sports
that
journalist
Clemson
of
made
the
the
year right
playoffs?
here.
No,
Was
it's
it
not a
fluke?
fluke.
Sports journalist
Clemson
of
made
the
the
year.
playoffs.
Head to head
There's-
doesn't matter.
Clemson has more. There's only one team that has more playoff appearances than Clemson, and it's Alabama, sir. And don't talk too much about them because you know what they do to you.
But we're not talking about all time. We're talking about
No,
now.
we're talking
We're
about last
talking
We're
year.
talking about
you
today.
said
We're talking about the
Clemson
current
making
year.
We're
playoffs.
talking about
Is
today.
that a fluke? No. There's only one team that has more.
Hey,
playoff
how many
appearances.
how many national championships have you competed for since you tested positive for ostering?
That has nothing to do with it. No players that
None.
tested positive.
Zero. Since the
That's
Clemson
fine.
ostering program has been shut off, zero
You've
contention
never
for national
competed
title.
for any titles ever, so
Hey, but we beat you at home last year, right? And we're the
That's
better
great.
team because of it.
you were the better team that day. You
So
won
head-to-head
one
doesn't
time out
matter?
of 100. If we played you
Head-to-head
100
doesn't
times, you'd lose 99.
Ever since NIL and the transfer portals come into play, that those national championships are just further and further in the rearview mirror.
honestly,
They're
yeah.
not. They're
Damn
New
it, I
Spring
thought-
Church can't afford the NIL package that Tennessee's
Yeah.
offering. If you think about
Well,
it.
okay. Well, see, here's the thing. The problem with you is that you want to talk about New Spring, a place that has Jesus, and they're trying to bring Jesus to people, and you think that they're just going to give money to Clemson.
It's a Protestant church. It's barely
They're
teaching the
still
Bible.
bringing people to Jesus, sir.
It's a Protestant church. They probably have women preachers. It's hardly teaching the Bible, Rob. What are you talking about?
So is that a fluke too?
I think we should end it on that. Anyway.
Yeah. And
Appreciate
on that
you guys.
17-14, head-to-head doesn't matter.
Good night, sir. Good night, Squid Tard. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Good night.